Welcome back, Mr. Smitty back again. Just here to do some more arrays problems and arrays practice with you. So far we were working through Lab 4, and we're actually coming to the last two problems, problem 8 and 9. So we're going to do problem 8 completely, and then on problem 9, we're just going to start it but not actually finish it. I don't want to get too complex with what we're learning, and it requires a lot of work to finish number 9, but we're still going to set it up, and then if you want to finish it on your own, you can. So let's jump right into this. So you need two things up. First thing you need is your NetBeans, and make sure you have your practicing arrays lab pulled up and ready to go. Alright, so far if you scroll back through, we've done problem 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now we're moving on to problems 8 and 9. So I'm going to go ahead and set those up. So public static void problem 8. And then below that, I'm going to do a public static void problem 9. Alright, so that way we have problem 8 set up and we have problem 9. So, at this point, we need to come down to our main method, and let's go ahead and make some calls to problem 8 and also problem 9. So problem 8 and problem 9. Alright, so I always, when I'm using modularity, I like to set the program up so that way as I'm testing it, I can just go ahead and run and make sure everything's working. So that's what we're doing right now. We're setting up our modularity. We're creating a method called problem 8 and problem 9, and then we're going to run it. So let's take a look at the lab real fast. Okay, so we are on problems 8 and 9. So for problem 8, we're just going to take it sentence by sentence like we always do. Have the user enter in a sentence. Well, we've already created our scanner, and we already have created a random, and we've created a decimal format. So now, we already know what we have to use, so I can just go ahead and use that scanner because it's been imported, it's been created up here globally, and then I can just go down to number 8, and I can prompt the user. So enter in a sentence, right? That's what I want. Enter in a sentence. All right, I'm actually going to do print so it shows up on the same line. And then I am going to store that into string sentence, right? Equals keyboard, that's the name of our scanner, dot next line. All right, so I'm using next line here because I need the whole line scanned in. I need the whole sentence scanned in, so you're not going to use dot next. Dot next would only give you one word. Okay, so we go back into our lab. Okay, then using an array, store the frequency of each letter of the alphabet. All right, then using an array, store the frequency of each letter of the alphabet. All right, so we need to make an array. So we always do our variables up top. So we're going to store frequency, but we need an array of letters first, right? We have A, B, C, D. So A, B, those are chars. So char array. I'm going to call it alphabet. Alphabet array is equal to, well, and then we just got to fill the alphabet array. So you're going to say like A, comma, B, comma, and notice that I'm using single quotes, comma, D, comma, all right, all the way to Z. To save a little time, I went ahead and copied this for myself because it took me a little while to do A to Z earlier. So I copy and pasted it. So you were going to set it up just like this. So char A, comma, char B, comma, char C, comma, char D, all the way to Z. All right, now I have my alphabet array and I have my sentence. So let's keep reading. Okay. Store the frequency of each letter of the alphabet from the sentence. All right, so we're going to need this variable called frequency, and it's going to be an integer because you can't have like 1.2 A's or 1.5 A's. So we're going to also make frequency and set it equal to 0. All right, frequency. So now, where are we at? So now we just need to print out the frequency of each letter. Do not count uppercase or lowercase differently. Okay, so I know then that when I scan in my sentence, I need to just go ahead and make it all lowercase. So I'm going to go ahead and do a .to lowercase right there after my scanner call, just so everything becomes lowercase. So at this point, now we just got to loop through our alphabet and check our sentence. So I'm going to try to, visualize this. Like in my brain, I can see it, right? In y'all's brains, y'all are still working on being able to see this. So I have like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Like this is what I've got this whole array. I'm gonna go ahead and add the dots. I have this array. So then I have a sentence. Let's say my sentence is, let's go to Walmart. I don't know. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to start with A and look through our sentence and count how many times A shows up. So A would show up twice. So then frequency needs to become 2 for A, right? So we're counting A, and then frequency needs to become 2. That's what we need to happen. So we're going to start with A, look through the sentence, and then count how many A's and print that out. Then we're going to go to B, count how many B's and print that out. All right, so obviously I'm about to loop, and I'm going to loop through the alphabet, but then check the sentence and then update frequency. Pretty straightforward, but again, in my brain, like that's what's going on. I'm trying to kind of draw it out for y'all so you can see. All right, so I want to loop through alphabet, so let's do that first. So I need a for loop. Int I is equal to 0. I is less than alphabet array dot length. All right, same patterns, guys. It's always the same patterns. We always do the length of the array. All right, so we're going to go through this array, and then within the array, we need to go through the sentences. All right, so we need to go through the array and then through the sentence. I'm trying to think exactly how I want to show you how to do this. All right, so now we're going to do something we haven't done yet called a nested loop. So basically, let's see if I can draw this out. This is our loop right here, and this loop is going through the alphabet. All right, so we're looping through the alphabet. Then what we're about to do now is we're going to have a loop inside of that loop, and that loop is going to be our sentence. All right, so we have the alphabet loop, and then we have our sentence loop. So when our alphabet loop is on A, our sentence loop is going to be going through, let's say it's let's go to Walmart. It's going to go L, then it's going to go E, T, apostrophe S, space, go to Walmart. So it's going to go through that. So while alphabet is stuck on A, it's going to go all the way through and finish the loop. Then it's going to come back to the outside loop and increment to B. Then it's going to go check the whole sentence again, finish the inside loop, go back to the outside loop and do C, go inside loop, check whole sentence again. Then it's going to go back to the outside loop and become D. So basically we're able to compare two things because we've got nested loops, and it's loops inside of loops, which is loops inception, which is all right. So I'm just going to show you how to program it. That's why I'm making a video for this, because it is complicated, but just try to follow me. All right. So I have a for loop for, let me go ahead and comment that. For loop for the alphabet. And right here, we're going to have a for loop. This is actually a nested for loop for the sentence. So for int, and we can't use I anymore. We're moving on to our next letter, which is J. J is equal to 0. J is less than the sentence dot length, but remember it's a string, so you got to use a method. You can't just say dot length. And then J plus plus. All right, so now we have our first ever nested loop. Oh, this is exciting. All right, so alphabet on the outside, sentence on the inside. All right. So every time, what we want to check is we want to see if the alphabet array at I, so wherever we're at in the alphabet, whether it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, all right, wherever we're at in this alphabet, is that equal to wherever we are at in the sentence? So if we're wherever we're out in the alphabet, if that is equal to where we are at in the sentence, and if that is true, we're going to increase frequency. All right, so if that happens to be true, frequency will increase. Makes absolute perfect sense. I'm realizing I'm missing a bracket here. Let me go ahead and add that so that way later. Oh, yeah, that's where it happened right there. Okay. Yeah, so if I'm on A and I find an A inside my sentence, then I increase my frequency. All right, so then every time we finish doing a letter, all right, which is this loop, right? The outside loop is alphabet. So that's when we finish doing a letter. Every time we do that, we want to print the frequency. So I'm just going to say print line, and I'm going to say alphabet array. Oops, sorry guys. Alphabet array at I plus maybe count is equal to, and then whatever frequency is. So I'm telling you what letter from the alphabet and then how many there are of that letter. Okay, but the last thing we need to do is, if you look back here, right, we go through with A and we find out that there's 2 A's in Walmart. When we come back here to switch to B, we need to change frequency back to 0. So, because right now it's 2 because we found 2 A's. So we need to go back up here to B and make it 0. So up here, do not miss this step. In the outside for loop, frequency must equal 0. Has to. All right. So at this point, I think we are pretty much done, which is awesome. So I'm going to run this. All right, enter in a sentence. Let's go to Walmart, right? And check it out. So it found 2 A's, 1 E, 1 G, 2 L's, 2 O's, 1 R, 1 S, 3 T's, 1 W. All right, so we have created basically a letter counter where you can put in any sentence and it will track it. All right, we're done with problem number 8. All right, so first ever nested loop. We're going to keep on practicing these because they're just, you got to get your brain around them. All right, so problem number 9, let's take a look at it. We're not going to do all of it. It says create an array of size 8, fill the array randomly with zeros and ones, print out the array so it appears as a binary number, and then calculate the decimal value. We are not going to do this last sentence in my video, calculate it as a decimal value. We're probably going to work on that together in class because it's kind of a complicated process. So I'm going to set up the array, and I'm going to generate random zeros and ones with y'all, but we're going to save this last little piece for later. All right, so what does it tell me first? Oh, sorry, guys. I don't think I zoomed up enough. Yeah, this last sentence right here, we're not going to do that. All right, create an array of size 8. All right, and it's going to have zeros and ones, so we know it's going to be an int array. So int brackets, I'm going to call it binary array is equal to new int of size 8. All right, set up an array, size 8, going to have integers. So fill the array randomly with zeros and ones. Every time we fill an array, we need a loop. So for int I is equal to 0. I is less than binary array dot length I plus plus. Again, that's just the loop to fill the array. Ooh, Smith's struggling today, y'all. Y'all seeing this? All right. We're just we're writing a loop to fill the array. So now we need to fill the array with a random number between 0, or either not between, but just 0 or 1. All right, so remember, we have that random generator we created. So I'm going to say binary array at I is equal to rangen dot, and we're using integers, so next int. So the question becomes, how do I manipulate this to get either a 0 or a 1? So if y'all remember, if we say rangen.nextInt and we put a number inside of here, it gives us from 0 to however many numbers. So if I put 5 in here, I get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 to get 5 numbers. All right. If I put a 7 in there, I get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0 to 6, but it's 7 numbers. So if I want 0 to 1, I just put a 2. That way I get 0 and 1. All right, so now we need to print it. So if you look at the PDF, it says print out the array so it appears as a binary. So I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to print what we stored. So it's going to generate a random number for us, and then I'm going to print it. It's going to generate a random number, and then I'm just going to print it. So if we run this one, and remember we still got number 8 active. Okay, well, looks like I did print line instead of print, so let me go ahead and fix that. So that's why if you take a look at the output here, the 0 and 1s keep returning to a new line. And I'm going to comment out problem 8 since we are done with that one and we're focused on problem 9. All right, so now if I run it, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I get 8 numbers, which is binary number has 8 zeros or 1s. And then if I just keep running this, you'll see that I just randomly keep getting a new binary. All right, so the second part of this lab, it wants you to calculate and print out the decimal value. So for instance, let's say I have 1001010. It wants me to give the decimal value for that. If you're not familiar with binary, you have to basically use powers to do this. And it's going to require you to also use modulus and math.pow, which stands for math.power. I haven't talked to y'all about this yet, so I kind of want to wait and work on this together in class. If you are not in my class and you want to learn about this, I suggest just going to Google and type in converting binary to decimal in Java, and just read through some of the sample code that you find, and then write your own algorithm inside of here to make it work. But we will walk through problem number 9 together. I just wanted to get it set up today. All right, guys. Well, that's it for this video. I just wanted to basically, go through and set those up and continue to talk about arrays. As always, guys, I would appreciate any support you can give me. I have an Instagram, a YouTube, and also a Twitter. So please go follow or subscribe, and I will see you next time.